let's go to talk to the man known as the Donald of Dubai. Since we're talking about chief executives and who those who get on, particularly with Donald Trump, the chair of DAMAC, the very large UAE property company developer, says he doesn't discuss politics with President Trump. Now, I spoke to Hussain Sajwani about his relationship with the president. Just remember, look, there you are. He spent, that's him on the far right, he spent New Year's Eve at Mar-a-Lago just a few weeks ago. He's a member of Mar-a-Lago. And before the president took office, Mr. Sajwani had announced a $20 billion investment building US data centers. I asked the chair about the data centers and how he views President Trump's actions this week.
As you appreciate, I'm not a politician, and when I'm with him, I avoid anything to talk about politics. But the world is full of issues, and it is interesting to watch and see. I'm still very optimistic. Things will get sorted out one way or another.
If we look at where you are putting your real estate investments and indeed your building firepower, you've built a lot of buildings.
Yeah, a lot.
A lot of apartment buildings.
I delivered 50,000 luxury units so far. Another 50,000 under construction now.
Really?
Yeah.
But that's not really where your focus is at the moment, is it? Your focus is very much on data centers.
We're DAMAC Property, no question, is a well-established company and doing very well. And we just announced our results of last year, sold more than $10 billion, you know, with a healthy margin. But yes, our new expansion is in data center. We're in 12 countries. We made a press conference with President Trump to commit $20 billion. We're already almost there. Now we have a land bank of 1,000 megawatt, which when it gets built in the coming 2 years will be $12 billion. So we are almost halfway there.
Now, I know that it's not your responsibility, you're the builder, but these buildings are turning into a controversy, not just because of the building, but because the electricity demand, yes, the footprint of the buildings, the sheer number of them that there's going to have to be, and arguably the oversupply of them, that we're building more than we might need.
You asked two questions. A, about the environment, sustainability. Now we're focusing very much in Nordic. So we have quite a big land we bought in Finland and in Sweden. And there's a clean energy. And, you know, the electricity is more clean. So we're quite conscious about the environmental. Yes, in some countries that's putting pressure on the grid. And governments are finding solution. Like anything else in life, it will be supply demand. But the AI is the beginning. I mean, yesterday I was with one of the largest company of, data center in the world, during the reception of Mr. Trump. And he told me one of his customers want 2 gigawatt, another customer want 3 gigawatt. The demand is huge, and going to continue at least another 3 to 5 years.
You'll have to help me.
Sure.
What does 2-3 gigawatts mean?
I'm no different than you. But maybe 2-3 gigawatt can probably give power to a medium-sized city. Is that as that big as that?
How much of all of this did you have to learn?
Oh, a lot. I tell you, when I first started, I called the top consultant from US and I brought him to Dubai and I kept him with me 1 week. Every day after office, 4 o'clock, we go until 10 o'clock. Every day, 6 hours, he explained to me item by item. I'm not an engineer, but I want to learn. I hate when my manager tells me a story and I don't know what they're talking about. I need to know the basic. I don't need to know all the detail.
But that's really given you quite an achievement and an advancement over others.
Yes, because I go to the minutest detail of my business. I'm a very detailed man. And a lot of people criticize me for that. But that's my strength.
So when you're sitting with the president in Mar-a-Lago, are you having sort of debates and discussions on buildings? The president will say, "No, come on," he'll say, "No, that's too many," and you'll say, "No, I think it needs to have that." No,
I'll tell you a story.
You both speak the language of the developer.
I'll tell you a story. Last year, not in 25, in 24, and during New Year, I was there the New Year night. So as I walked in from outside around 5 o'clock, he's standing on the terrace where the 2 staircases going with the manager of Mar-a-Lago, giving him direction where the barbecue should be, where the stand should be. And after he finished, I said, "Mr. President, you are now," he was president-elect. I said, "You're president-elect." He goes, "But the carpet is done wrongly and So I said, you are a developer, you're not going to change. So when he works and he sees something wrong, he will ask you to fix it.
Come and join me over here.
Sure.
What gives you hope? There you are. Find some space somewhere. And right, what gives you hope?
Nothing left for me space.
Well, there's a bit there. There's some there. There's some there. There's some there.
Tell me.
What gives you hope? What gives you hope?
What gives me hope?
Yes.
A lot of good people in this world. A lot of opportunities.
Sum it up in one word.
Good people. The world is still full of good people. You are one of them.
Oh, you're too kind.